Welcome to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast that talks about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm Sean, and with my fellow American Rodney, we break down the good, the bad, and the just plain weird. It's quite the journey, so join us for the ride. Blue da blue dee da blue da blue da blue dee da blue da blue dee da blue da blue da blue dee da. I picked our selection this week, the sommelier of pop songs, to celebrate a certain special occasion in the Nordics and Sweden in particular. I selected the most Euro techno song that I could possibly think of to celebrate the grand finale of the biggest music competition in the world, Eurovision 2021.
Yeah, it was a little funny because as we were talking about topics and stuff we were gonna go ahead and do. And I'm sitting there going, man, I know that there's something happening that we should probably mention, but I just cannot remember what it is.
Well, to be fair, I've stayed away from all of it so far.
Okay.
I might flip on a little bit tonight, but yeah, I need a little bit of a minor chord action going on. All that stuff is like, it's all written in major keys and it's all built for pop, right?
Yeah.
So it's all okay. But like after you hear like all the random countries you never realized were part of Europe, like Azerbaijan and
like
all this
Australia.
kind of stuff, and it's all Australia and all South Africa.
Yeah.
It all starts sounding the same after a while, and you're like, oh. And then once the performances finally get done, you have to sit through the 3 hours of judging. You're just like, oh God, Lord, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah. Well, to be truthful and honest, because I sent you a text. We watched a portion of the first semifinal because that's when Sweden's guy Tusse was singing. So we watched a portion of that up until 10 o'clock is kind of when we hit the sheets. So, up until 10. But I don't know what it was, but Lena and I were just looking at each other going, did people listen to these songs before they voted them in? Or is it just like you just show up? Because a lot of the songs this year, at least in the first semifinal, right? The first semifinal round, a lot of those songs I actually literally had to turn the TV down. I was like, I cannot listen to it because it was just like scratching my soul. But and then we tuned in, was it night before last, I guess was the second round, and all the songs were pretty good. They were all pretty good. But yeah, how some of those countries snuck in, and then there's a couple of classic favorites that usually present, pretty good songs. Australia has sent not surprising. I'm not going to say that. It's not like they don't have talent, in the land down under, but they've had some pretty good,
quite a bit of talent down there.
Yeah, and they've had some pretty good, some pretty good people. Yeah, I don't know if there's like a really nice way to. Maybe it's just me. It's probably just my music taste, but I don't know. Yeah, and from what I understand, I think Lena said that the group that performed was actually they didn't come over. It was like some kind of satellite. Thing. So they performed over there, which is probably pretty good. Because then they don't have to fly all the way back home again. But yeah, it's like you said. I mean, how many times can you listen to the song? It's just like Melodifestivalen. You listen to, like the trying to get on, and then the summary time they do it, and then it's like if they win, they sing it.
And then Henat is sitting next to me, and she's going, "Wait, they're singing the same song again?"
Yeah.
That's they're competing with the song.
So I think that's pretty smart. I mean, if you've just waited for the final, because that's actually the smart thing to do. That's why they have like the semifinal and the semifinal, because the people that really shouldn't be in the final are falling off to the left and the right.
Yeah. True.
And you didn't miss a whole lot.
It's such a weird concept to begin with because you have to win Melody Festival to get into Eurovision for Sweden. And then all these other countries have their kind of equivalents.
Yeah.
But there were times watching Melody Festival where I was like, oh, that I can tell by the tone of their voice, that person is clearly a better singer than the other people on the stage tonight, but they wouldn't make it through because at the same time that the show is going on, these contestants are blowing up my Instagram with like, hey, vote for me. You're like Melody Festival. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see how some not so savory acts may get into the final of a Eurovision. Let's say. Maybe a little bit more amateurish.
Well, I mean, like I said, some of these people must have snuck in because I love music. I'm open to all kinds of music. I can listen to the gamut. Granted, there's some, genres of music that I can only take in small doses, but I'm open for it. I'm open for it. Eurovision, you get a lot of cultural infusion. Like 85% of the songs are going to be in English. But there's still a couple of groups that they just, they get up there and they do their thing
in Kazakh, and you're just like, props to them for doing pop songs in Kazakh, man.
Yeah. Hey, but that something's happening when Flo Rida pops up at Eurovision.
Flo Rida was at Eurovision?
Yeah.
Man,
I mean, it was I was sitting there, I was going, kind of a mixture of amateur groups, and there's some professional groups, and there's some people with more experience, and then it was like Flo Rida jumped out. I was like,
he must have got paid a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah. I think he just wanted to travel. I think he's like the rest of us. He was like, what is it? The Euro what? He's like, I'll go.
Long way from Florida. Where is it being hosted this year?
Opium Poppies. Holland. I think it's like in.
Oh, I was gonna go with Afghanistan. Opium Poppies.
No, I'm thinking the poppy. No, but yeah, I think it's. I'm pretty sure it is. I really haven't been paying attention at the beginning. I've just been kind of skipping to the music parts, but
yeah. all the analysis and all that. Yeah, fast forward, please.
Yeah.
But hey, you had an eventful week.
Yes, I did.
You are now being tracked by every government on Earth, as some might say.
Speaking of opium poppies, no, I. Yes, sirree.
You've been jabbed.
Yeah, I be jabbing. And it
Don't
was
criticize it.
Yeah, I didn't really. I was happy about it. I was happy about the appointment popping up. I had a feeling. First of all, let me start by saying I did try to do like everybody else, go into this application you're supposed to go into and register and look. But since with my allergies, I have to go to a hospital to get an injection. So I can't. Yeah, I can't just go to like Pressbyrån or one of these other places.
No way.
Yeah, just in case I would have a reaction. So people with allergies have to get the injection,
like within the presence of a doctor, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So you can't. I couldn't go to like some pizza drive-through or something just in case something happens.
I love how any business, they'll just do anything. The corner bodega, they're like, yeah, we're offering the vaccine. Come on in. You got to sign up on 1177 first.
Yeah.
Figure that shit out.
Yeah. Gas. You need a hot dog. You want a vaccine.
Circle K.
Right. But I called down here. I called down here to the hospital in Nynäs, and I was like, look, I've tried to go in. I've tried to book it. With my allergies, I just don't. And the nurse that I spoke with, she said, look, I'm going to put you on a list down here. She says, we're not giving injections to a lot of people, but if an opening pops up, then you can have the injection down here. And for some reason, I went into that app like everybody else, just, I don't know how many times a day I was going in and checking. It was just, no openings, no openings, no openings. So I had a feeling, I was like, if I get something down here at the hospital, that's probably going to be, that's my safest bet. And sure enough, I got a text message and they're like, okay, on Wednesday, come down, be here.
Nice.
And I was, I was happy about it, but I don't think I've, shots and giving blood or, taking tests and stuff like that. We've talked about that before, how much you love, needles and testing. But I wasn't nervous up until like I really started going like through the front door of the hospital. Cause I'm, it's not the shot.
Is that about the same time you started texting me about all your G's on your cell phone going funny?
Yeah, exactly. Because I went from like 4 G's, and then the closer I got to to getting the vaccine, with like 3G, 2G, and I was like, they must not have got a very good dose because
all of a sudden it says 56K dial-up on the top of your phone. What? How does that exist?
Bad connection. But the shot one, I didn't even feel the shot. I mean,
yeah, good nurse then.
Just went in, sat down. She like pinched my arm and then gave me the shot, and then it was done. And they said, okay. I think they said like 3 to 4 weeks to try and
then you get your second dose,
to book the second dose, right? And then it takes 2 weeks after that for everything supposedly to kick in.
So who'd you get? Do you know?
Yeah. At first I didn't know though. Because I looked at the card. I got my little injection card. Mm-hmm. So I was looking at it and it says Comirnaty. Comirnaty.
What the hell is that?
Yeah. I gotta see. You get
Comirnaty.
And the first thing, other than the fact that it sounds a lot like Illuminati, but I'm looking at it and
oh, here we go.
No, but
the comment section. Let's get it lit up.
Yeah, but I'm thinking to myself, I never heard of that shot. I've heard of like Pfizer and
like,
Moderna.
I've even heard of the janky Russian one, the Sputnik one.
The Sputnik, right? Right. But when I looked it up, I did a really freaking quick Google search to find out what it was that she just stuck in my arm, and Pfizer pops up.
Oh, okay.
So it's the Pfizer. They just and I remember a while back that they were going to change the name. I can't remember what vaccine it was, but they were going to change the name because there were like those side effects. Like people started having side effects, and they're like, let's just give it another name.
But you didn't feel anything side effects wise.
Not really, but I definitely felt where they gave me the shot.
Ooh.
And it was because they give it to you in your shoulder.
Yeah, like a tetanus shot kind of thing.
And towards the evening, Lana was like, "Are you sure you feel okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I feel fine." And she said, "Even where you got the shot?" And I said, "Yeah." And I touched like my arm, my bicep, like my lower part of my bicep, and I'm like, "I'm fine." And then I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, the shot was higher up." And then when I moved my hand up to the like my shoulder area, then I was
super sore.
It felt like Mike Tyson had punched me in the shoulder.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that has to do probably a bit with the nurse as well, because I've had like we actually have to get our booster pretty soon, the tick. What is it? TBE, the tick-borne encephalitis shot. So if you go out in the woods, then you don't have your brain blow up inside your head. But yeah, the first one we got for that, because that's a 2-dose too, and then every year you're supposed to get a booster shot if you're going out into the woods and all that. So the first one, the nurse was amazing. I didn't even feel the needle go in. She like pinched my skin,
right?
But then like the actual needle, couldn't feel anything.
Nope.
And then the next day, nothing. No, nothing tensed up or no swelling or anything. But man, the second nurse I got, she must have been having a bad day.
Ratchet.
Yeah. Nurse Ratchet.
Yeah.
Because it was like going in there, and then like after you were just like, that's going to leave a mark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, the shop process, everything went really good. I sent you some pictures from the
Nice.
waiting room.
It looked like the quintessential Swedish waiting room. There's a couple like deli ticket machines, and
And I don't know if it's like a little mini daycare or something, but there were there's nothing funnier than seeing adults sitting in like kids' chairs and stuff. When you go to daycares, when you go to daycare centers and stuff like that, and you have to sit down,
or the kids' doctor's office and all that, the BBC,
and the chairs are made for like them, not us. That's
yes.
That's kind of like what this waiting room was like. So, it was good. It was kind of twilightish though, because the cross section of people that were sitting inside of that room, all spread out, were. Yeah,
it's like, man, I bet you got corona over there.
Yeah, we were quite the motley crew. And then the last lady that came in was elderly, older, quite a bit older, and she had some big red flower. I don't know what kind of red flower it was, but she wanted to walk around and like show everybody this beautiful big red flower she had.
Oh my God.
And she was really talkative.
Lady, I'm just here to get in and out. Don't be that way. See, that's when I have the advantage. I'd be like, no habla sueca.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, and if it was any other circumstance, I would have loved it. I would have been like, man, come sit down. Let's talk about your red flower.
I know.
But she was
like, where are you in any other phase of my life? But right now, we're serious right now.
Exactly. No, so that went well, and shot one is done, and we'll see what happens now afterwards.
I love it. Well, I haven't had anything quite as exciting happen to me, but I will tell you, this week has blessed me with another Ika story.
Ooh, the Ika story.
We go into Ika yesterday, middle of the day, kind of thing. Wanted to get a bunch of different stuff. And, it's always good to actually go into the grocery store.
Right.
Because you see things that you're never going to see online. The online stuff, you need to, know what you're looking for.
Sure.
You have to have your list, and then you search for it. You see that result. You click it, add it to your cart. But you don't really have I'm looking for beans. Oh, look at that thing over there. That looks cool. I want to try something with that. You don't get that with online shopping. So it's always good to go into the store. And plus, you never know if you're going to meet Lady in Red, live streaming her shopping experience, right? So we were looking around. We get to the meat section, and we're like, oh, let's, look, see what's available, see if anything stands out, kind of thing. And I go to the beef section, and first of all, this is probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning on a Friday.
Okay.
And there's just this, it's like a committee meeting of 60 to 70-year-old Swedish men, like 8 of them, all lined up in front of the beef doors. There's like, and like, you can't get in, you can't do anything. You're like trying to like get over, like, let me at least see what's going on.
Right.
And it's just like packed. Who knows what they're doing? None of them are opening the door. They're just sitting there studying the meat inside of the coolers. So I'm like, oh, great. Now who knows how long this is going to take. So I'm, doing the old twiddle my thumbs and being like, I'm about to like, just like start calling you people out in English and you're not going to understand anyway. And then I look to my left and I see this thing. Meat product that is wrapped in like plastic wrap, but like thicker plastic wrap, and it's about a meter long, maybe a little bit less. This giant Flintstone style tomahawk chop cut of beef, like ribeye entrecote with the giant bone on top attached to it.
Holy smokes.
I'm like, I've never seen this stuff except in like MasterChef. This doesn't exist in a real grocery store. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's like either that or the Flintstones.
And there were like 15 of them. I'm like, who's buying this?
Right.
That you have so much inventory of it. I can see if it's like at the meat counter.
Sure.
and it's like a specialty item where people are going to like spend a little bit more money on, specific cuts of meat and all that stuff. But
Right.
it was like packaged, commercialized, and I'm like, man, people, what are you doing over here? This is crazy.
But is it like a beef cut?
Yeah, so it's basically, think of entrecote, right? It's the rib,
Yeah.
but it's thicker than an entrecote is probably like what? What is that? I would say like 3/4 of an inch, whatever that is in centimeters. But this thing is like a solid, at least 2 inches thick, if not going up to 3.
Right.
So it's thick.
But that's
Thick cut of beef with the bone in. So you gotta have some skills on the grill,
But what kind of bone is that? I mean, if it's a beef bone, there are no
It's
small
the rib
bones
bone
in
of the cow.
there's no small bones in a cow.
You can tell it's a cow's rib. Let me tell you that.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Yeah.
massive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's completely like the Flintstones, when he goes to the drive-in at the end of the show,
and
the
the whole car
falls
goes
over.
right.
So if you think of that like a giant lamb rack of beef, and you
Got
just
it.
cut one of those off between the bone, that's what a tomahawk chop is.
Got it.
It's massive.
But Jurassic. But like a Jurassic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the actual meat part is like the size of my face, basically.
But well, here's another thing. I mean, I assume that just like everything else, you're paying by the kilo.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how
You're
much does
paying for
that big ass
my
bone
friend.
cost?
You're paying for that bone.
Oh hell no. No.
Completely.
Oh no. No.
I mean, it's one thing if you want to, like, you're on a business dinner, you're trying to close a deal, close those sales, and you want to splash some cash.
Yeah.
You got the company Amex card, you
Yeah.
can expense everything, and then like, you do the tomahawk chop in the restaurant, and Salt Bae comes over and he slices everything up
do
for
that
you.
little- that
But to
thing.
do it at your house, yeah, he does that.
Right.
But like, to do it at home, like, first of all, I would be terrified that I was going to overcook it or screw something up with
Right.
it, because then it's like 40 euros down the drain.
And then you're in Sweden,
Like-
right? So I mean, you're probably barbecuing by yourself.
Oh yeah.
So
For sure.
if I were to buy something like that, I would have to. I'd drag my neighbors over. I'd be like, look, you guys aren't coming to eat. I just need you to show you this big ass bone on this piece of meat.
But that's the thing too, is like, you have to have cooked it before for yourself, because then you don't want to be like, hey, neighborhood, come over here. And like,
Yeah.
I'm cooking a tomahawk chop. And then you take it off the grill and the thing is either blue in the middle or it's like well done, crispy, like charcoal on a stick.
Right. True. And I don't know if what do you practice with like a chicken rib, or I mean, I know, no, but like a lamb chop or like a what other kind?
I mean, you gotta get used. I would probably practice with a T-bone on the grill, or like in the oven. Like, first of all, the ovens aren't that big over here, so I'm pretty sure you have to use the grill,
Okay.
because this thing is so long. Honestly, maybe it's not a meter, but it's at least a solid 2/3 of a meter.
So you gotta do that thing in the oven with like the door open, with like the
Yeah, but then it's not cooking as efficiently. So then that's a whole other, wrinkle in the plans. Forget it. And you're sitting there going, oh, God. It's like, you just bet your whole paycheck on the horse race. And you're like, come on, number
Come on,
5.
please.
We got to come through for me.
Come on, we got this. Yeah.
We need medium rare all the way through. Yeah, it was wild. So, needless to say, we didn't go with that.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to pass. But as Hinata came around the corner, I'm like, look what I found.
With like two
And then
hands.
she goes, yeah, her eyes like light up like, oh, the
Right.
Brazilian gods have shined down.
Yeah.
But then she's like, oh, look what I got. And she had this little bag,
Right.
little cellophane plastic bag, maybe 5-6 inches tall, little kind of thing. And it looks like it's pre-fried bacon inside this little pouch.
Pre-fried bacon.
Pre-fried bacon.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, what is that? I don't even know what it is, but I like it. Let's get it. Let's take it home.
Ooh.
We realize it's Iberico ham, like Spanish pork ham,
Okay.
like the jamon serrano or whatever
Yeah.
it is. That's been then, it must have been baked. because it's all crispy.
Okay.
And the fat's all been rendered out, and it's like like ridiculous. Like you can just sit there.
How was it though?
Incredible.
See, I mean,
it's like eating like really classy bacon bits.
Okay. Hey.
But not the bits, like strips of bacon.
Yeah.
You know, like how it was a thing for bars a couple years ago in the States to be like, oh yeah, you can come in and drink. Here's like the free bacon sitting out on the bar top that you can pick at.
Yeah.
You know, back before that would have sounded completely disgusting and like ready to kill you. You know what I mean?
Hey, but it sounds
yeah, it was super good.
It sounds to me like you made a pretty safe choice there. You know, you went ahead and left the Dundee rack there, and you ended up you ended up going home with the, you know, with a bacon baggie.
I was like, man, if it looks like cooked bacon, so we really can't go wrong here.
Yeah.
Even if it's a tofu product, I'm still gonna like it. Yeah. I can already tell.
Yeah. I like it. I like it.
But now we, you know, before every podcast, you know, we go back and forth on the text chain a bit. We talk about what we're going to talk about on the episode, try and figure out the general outline. And when we were going back and forth, I sent some suggestions over. You came back with some of your own. We make a little blend. We leave some in the tank for the next episode. But one thing stuck out to me.
Yes.
In your outline points when you sent it over.
Yes.
It said nosy neighbor kids or nosy neighbors. And the first thing that came into my mind was Kevin McAllister's neighbor in Home Alone.
Right.
Like, does this thing have 4-wheel drive? Does it have good gas mileage?
Yeah. That's kind of where, look, I love kids. I love
I know it's going to be good already. The caveats are flying.
I love baby kids. I love toddlers. I just love kids, you know, and we have been in our area long enough to where, you know, we've seen like generational influxes of kids. You know, people move in, people move out. Right now, and it hit me just a couple weeks ago after the big thaw, when all of a sudden parents start letting their kids outdoors. I'm coming home from work from the train, and I hear like this chitter chattering, you know, and some giggling and some laughing and some stuff like that. And I look over, and there is a pack of these little girls. I think there's like 7 or 8 of them, and they're everything from like kind of just getting used to walking, like old enough to walk, and you know, parents let them out, to a little bit older, but you know, that general small, you know, age. And it's they had this thing where they ask you what your name is.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, if you get hit once or twice with that, you know, that's one of those little, you know, cute little questions. It's like, vad heter du? Vad heter du? Vad heter du? That's like this, because they don't have
vad heter du.
Yeah, vad heter du? You know what?
Okay. I got to store these for when I drop Dylan off at Forscola. You know, I'm sure they're saying it to me vad heter du, and I'm just like, hey do.
Yeah. Hey, but that thing, you know, it started off with one girl asking me, and the next thing I knew, it was, you know, that scene in Finding Nemo with all of the seagulls. Mine. Yeah, it was this cacophony of little girls all asking me what my name was.
Oh my God!
It got to the point. I mean, I'm almost sweating. You know, I was just like,
Where were you the night of February 30th?
And it happened.
I swear, it wasn't my fault. I just helped Mickey go to the store. That's all.
Hey, it happened again today. I opened up the door. I was going to go up with the recycling. I opened the door, and there's 2 of them sitting like on these stairways.
Oh God, they're following you.
You know, and I heard it like just starting coming out of her mouth. I hit it, and I like closed the door, and I ran into the backyard, and I was like, okay.
Oh my God, I know. You know, we had Midsummer come out a year or 2 ago, the movie, and it was like this quasi horror film.
Right.
Like the next one, vad heter du?
That's gonna be
this harem of little tiny
yeah.
girls
Yeah.
just accosting Rodney in his sleep.
Exactly.
No, I have no name.
Yeah, but it is. It's nice. I mean, because there are kids running, and then we have a couple of neighbors with a trampoline.
Oh,
So that's another one.
nice.
That's another one where as soon as the temperature was right, we're sitting here and you just hear that.
Absolutely.
But it's two brothers, pretty close in age, so it's just a matter of a couple minutes in between. Somebody's getting upset. And it's a scream and it's a yell and it's like, oh no, I'm sorry, and everything's fine. And then it's that. The other day, Lena heard like this beep, like this little electronic beep. Yeah, she didn't know if it was her phone or if it was like the computer or if it was the dryer, but there was like a beep that went off. And then a little while later, this beep went off, and she got up.
Was it the smoke detector?
No, the next door neighbors with the trampoline, they had a timer because I guess the two little boys were having such a hard time figuring out whose turn it was.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they set the timer. And then, when it beeped, then the other.
Oh my God.
All that stuff you had to look forward to. No, well, not really. But,
oh man.
yeah.
Hey, he is in that kind of phase where
Okay.
it's like when I pick him up from Friscola, like the little playground that they have in the front, there's a red motorcycle it's like one of those, like sometimes it's a horse or a race car or a tiger or some kind of object on a spring that's in the ground. So like you can rock back and forth on it. Right? Yeah. So it's like you're riding the animal. Well, this one is a red motorcycle. And right now he is obsessed with anything shaped like a car or shaped like a motorcycle. So every time I go and pick him up from Friscola now, he's like, no, we're not leaving. You're coming in and you're going to ride the motorcycle with me. I'm like, okay. And there's always another kid on the motorcycle. And then he gets up to the motorcycle and he starts staring angrily at the other child, enjoying themselves. And it's his turn to go home. Yeah. And he's like, and then he looks at me like, what are you going to do about this? Yeah. I'm like, I don't speak Swedish, man. You got to handle this yourself.
Yeah. He's like, you see that kid is sitting on my Ducati, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, well, if it's your Ducati, go take care of it, man. Right. Oh boy.
One thing that popped up that I can't remember if I mentioned to you it to you or not, but this week they went ahead and renamed Globen. Ericsson Globen became Avicii Arena. Yeah. And when they went ahead and released the name, they actually, and I don't know when the video for this came out. It came out about the same time, and I don't know if you've seen it. It's on YouTube. But there is a girl, and she is 14 years old, and she sang a rendition of.
I've seen this. I've seen part of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw part of it.
Yeah. If you get a chance, check it out. It's pretty impressive. But again, she's 14 years old. This is her first time singing publicly. They put her on top of Globen, so the video is her singing on top of on Globen. Yeah,
and she sounds amazing.
Yeah, she knocked it out of the park. She did really, really good, and it was being shared all over the place. I mean, it was just like it was popping up all over. But yeah, if you have a chance, go in it and check it out. And her name is Ella, and it's Tiratiello, I think. Tiratiello. I'm probably butchering that, but Ella.
Sounds Italian.
Yeah. 14. Yeah. It has two L's in it, and I didn't know if it was like a yeah, like a yeah sound.
But yeah, I saw kind of like the first half of the video, and it starts out with like I guess it's the Stockholm Symphony or the Swedish Symphony.
It's
playing the backing music to it.
Yeah, it's
and
the
then
royal
to her singing on top of the globe.
Exactly. Now that was impressive. It would have been kind of impressive to see, because that was a big Philharmonic. It was the Royal Philharmonic that they had, Kungliga, doing it. Now, if you would have put all, I don't know, it looked like there was like 90 musicians. But no, but she did really good. So
Yeah, at first I saw stuff popping up on Facebook of being like Avicii Arena, and I'm like, is this like a one-off to commemorate because he died recently, right?
Right.
Like, is this like something like a special event to like raise money for charity? But then I was like, oh no! Like then Tele2 started sending me emails. It's now Avicii Arena. I'm like, oh wow, this is for real.
And it was just a couple months ago that they were having discussions in Stockholm, because they had decided that they were going to build him a memorial, and they were looking for places around the city, you know, that they could go ahead and do it. And
For sure.
I thought that they had said Humlegården. So I thought that they had found a park place that they were going to go ahead and do it. And then, but how do you go from that? How do you go from like having a park memorial to like, hey, you know what? Globen. You know? The Globe.
All right, everyone, that'll do it for this week's episode. As always, thank you to everyone out there in podcast land for tuning in. Hit us up on Instagram to get even more crazy hijinks from around Stockholm. And please, if you haven't already done so, rate and review wherever you get your podcast from. It helps oh so much. And then come back here next time for more Two Guys, Three Crowns.